皆様お待たせいたしました。本日、BIMMスクリーン&フィルムスクールのウェビナーにご参加いただきまして誠にありがとうございます。SIUK 東京オフィスの加藤と申します。本日は BIMMスクリーン&フィルムスクールのジョージーナさんとアリスさんをお招きして、学校の概要映像関連のコースの紹介をしていただきます。ご紹介いただきました後に Q&A のお時間も設けておりますので、もしご質問がございましたら、チャット欄まで英語または日本語でご入力くださいませ。それでは、開始させていただきます。Okay, so could you start your presentation?
Hello, there we go. Thank you.
Right.
Alice, did you need to say anything? Am I right to start?
Yeah, you can start now.
Lovely, thank you. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, can everyone see that all right? Great, thank you. So hello everyone, my name is Georgia. Thank you for joining today. I am the outreach manager for Screen and Film School, which is a university in the UK. We're part of BIMM University. You may have heard about it before. BIMM is a music university and we are the filmmaking equivalent. So we have 3 campuses in England. We've got one in Brighton, which is where I'm from, and that is on the south coast. We've got one in Birmingham, which is in the Midlands, and then we've got one in Manchester, which is up north. So one for each area of the country. Hopefully we'll be expanding as well. We've chosen all these places because they're very creative places to study, and the film industry is thriving in all of those places. So today I'm going to be talking about the film industry as a whole, what kind of jobs you could go into in the film industry, what's available, how us at Screen and Film School actually help our students get into the industry, the tools that we give them, what we teach them. We've got 4 courses at the moment available in Brighton. There's only a couple available in Birmingham, Manchester, but I'm going to talk to you about all of them to see what you might be interested in, and then we can go into how you can apply and what the process is for coming to university with us. So first of all, the film industry in the UK is massive. It's the second biggest earner for the UK economy. So the first is retail, and then the second is film and TV, which kind of puts into perspective how important it is for the UK. A lot of people might think it's the food and drink industry or fashion or something, but film and TV is right up there. It's massive. It's worth about 3.6 billion. That's in the UK alone. Obviously, that figure is growing all the time. The amount of jobs that are needed are growing as each year goes by. As you can see here, 84,000 people were employed in the film industry in 2019. That was a few years ago now, and since COVID has happened, it's actually increased because the need for shows to be streamed and everything has increased so much. There are 15,000 production companies in the UK, and that could be anything from us, so Screen and Film School, we're technically a production company because we produce films all the time and we kind of put it out into the industry, all the way up to things like Netflix, BBC, ITV. Like I said earlier, where we have our campuses, we have really great connections to these big production houses. So in Brighton, we're about an hour away from London on the train, and that's where all the big production houses like Pinewood are. That's where Netflix have just put down like a 10-year lease in Pinewood, so they're going to be making these amazing blockbuster films pretty much on our doorstep. So it's a really exciting time for people to be interested in the film industry, and there absolutely is so many jobs out there to go into. I think a lot of the time we get told that if you want to study something creative, there's no money in it and there's no jobs. That's absolutely not true, and we kind of have proof of that from seeing our students succeed. So these are some of the streaming services and things that you might be familiar with. Normally, if I'm doing like an in-person presentation, I'll ask someone to tell me what they've been watching recently, but I won't do that today. But I'm sure a lot of you have access to these, if you're lucky enough to have access to these. Even TikTok, I mean, we spend a lot of time on TikTok these days. Most brands will have a TikTok, and within that, they will need someone to film it. So a cameraman, they need an editor, sometimes sound editing, sometimes visual effects, animation. So much goes into this content, and that is someone's role. There's so many roles available across all these platforms. If you ever take a look at the credits at the end of one of the TV shows or films that you watch, you'll see just how many people actually go into making one of these films, which is great to see. So if you're a creative person, maybe you like doing some creative writing, even drawing, sketches, things like that, you could go into this element of the film industry. So this would include screenwriters, anything kind of before you would get onto set. There's a whole world of people creating things, writing the scripts, producers as well, coming up with the ideas, pitching it to the networks to actually get the green light to go and shoot it. People that have a vision for something, perhaps you like writing, you've maybe even tried to write a script before, you like working with actors. This is more the creative side of things. We've then got cinematography. So this is everything that happens on set and afterwards. So cameras, lighting, sound, editing, anything visual that you see. It's highly technical. So if anyone's interested in kind of like photography, even engineering, things like that, or like making things, being very hands-on, you know, you're going to be around a film set every day, lifting these amazing, expensive pieces of equipment. It's really highly technical, especially something like lighting, that's really highly technical. So if you're even scientifically minded, you could kind of put yourself into this department as well. I've used Euphoria here in the background as an example, because I think it's a really good example of cinematography. Someone's had to call all these shots. They've had to decide what the color is, what angle it is, how it moves. Everything is a decision that someone has to make. And then there's also the art department. So this is often what I talk to art and design students about, fine art students. If you like drawing, painting, sketching, building things, even carpentry, things like that, the art department need those skills. So the art department are in the film industry is for people that are building the sets. They are making the costumes, designing the costumes, sourcing all the props that need to be made, lots of special effects, things like that, even pyrotechnics and, you know, fire, water on set. That's all kind of covered under the art department. So they're the three kind of main chunks of where you could maybe see yourself fitting in. But if you look here, this is kind of an overview of the other roles that could go into the film industry. This is really just scratching the surface. Most of these roles would have a assistant, a manager, supervisor, you know, so many other roles go into this. But up the top here in the purple, we've got the art department. So costume, hair and makeup. I mean, hair and makeup is a whole department within itself. You'd have, you know, things like wig makers, special effects, shoemakers, you'd have carpenters, everything, and that's all led by the production designer. Down at the bottom in the purple, we've got more of the behind the scenes producing business roles. So if you have any business skills and you want to take your like marketing into the film industry, that's where you could sit. You need people to go out onto the locations and scout locations to see if they're good to film. You need someone to make the money for the film, budget for the film. So if you've got like an accounting kind of mind as well, but you can put that within the film industry. So it's an industry that's a bit more employable and more fun as well. Up the top, we've got all the post-production work. So if you have an eye for color or you enjoy editing, you know, you might even just enjoy editing TikToks, but you can take that into the film industry. It's a similar process. Animation as well, of course, that's a whole department within itself if you have any drawing skills. Down here is, in the pink, is all the directing roles, obviously people that work with the actors, everything to do with the camera and lighting. Clapper loader, so that would be the clapper that goes off before action. And the lighting down at the bottom, there's so many roles within lighting. Again, really highly technical, but also really creative. You obviously have to know your angles, your colors. You have to know your stuff about lighting. And then up the top, we've got all the sound. So if maybe you have a passion for music, but you're not exactly a musician and you have an ear for things, you could go into the sound designing part. Foley is a really interesting role. I don't know if anyone's aware of what Foley is, but that is post-production sound. So when you're on set and you're capturing dialogue, you'd often use like a boom mic, so one of those mics that go overhead. And sometimes you can't always capture everything. So you have to have a Foley artist go in post-production to input the sound artificially. Sounds like footsteps, or if there's a fight scene, for example, you need to have the like punching sounds put in artificially. It's a really fun role to go into. So hopefully that has kind of given you an overview of the film industry in the UK specifically, how wide it is, how many roles are available to you. You might be looking at this and thinking, you know, I'm not going to walk out of university and be a top director of a Netflix film. One, you might, but also, you know, there's so many different production companies going on. You could walk in and be a first AD of a small marketing company in your town, or it's very wide, but there are definitely jobs out there for everyone. I'm going to play this video now, and this is an example of how all the different roles will come together, and this is all shot in our Brighton studio. Sorry, I've been told you can't hear it. Is that right? 1 second.
We need to.
Can you hear that now? Okay, sorry about that.
Quiet on set, please. 1, 2, 3.
Cut!
Yeah, the whole time was a bit off.
Yep.
We absolutely need to sort this out.
Yep. Are you ready to go again soon?
I might try a different lens setup for this next one. Give me like 10 minutes.
10 minutes, cool. Where's the runner? We need hair and makeup. Can you get them in time?
No, but I said I needed everyone's dietary requirements. Yeah, they're dietary requirements. I needed them like yesterday, babe.
Yeah, of course, yeah, we'll get it sorted.
Hold on, can I just call you back?
Are they all right?
I need you on set 1. Speed.
Action!
Okay, hopefully that can kind of show you how all the roles work within each other. That was all filmed in one of our Brighton studios and all of our students, so it's good for you to see. Oh, next. Speed. Sorry. So you might be considering going to a university that has loads of courses, thousands of students, or you might be looking at something a bit more specialized like our film school. I personally believe studying at a film school, if you're serious about film, is much more beneficial. One, because you're surrounded by everyone who has the same interest as you. We're really specialized, so all of our funding and everything goes straight back into our equipment, our facilities, our student films. Where if you went to a university, you know, they've got hundreds of courses, thousands of students, and unfortunately the creative subjects tend to get left behind and they don't get the attention they necessarily deserve. They may have a film or media department within the university, but it's not going to be like the environment at a film school where every single room is functional for you to make film with each other. We are able to provide budget for our students to make their film, which is really rare in the UK. Pretty much no university would offer this, and hardly even any of the film schools, the privatized film schools, don't give budget for their students. So students have to fund their own projects. We offer £250 in the first year, jumps up to £300 in the second year. And then the third year, you get £300 per person per film. So if there's 10 of you making a film and you get £300 each, that's £3,000 to make your film with. Obviously, all of the equipment and the locations and everything, but that's £3,000 extra to do with what you want. So the production value tends to be really high on our films. Our tutors are people that are working in the industry. We've got some amazing people working for us. Often they're working on their own projects. We've got tutors working for Netflix, Disney. One of our business lecturers is the executive producer for Peter Rabbit. She's worked for Netflix. She's doing loads of stuff at the moment. So you're getting the insider knowledge from the industry. I've just had a notification that my internet is unstable. Can everyone still hear me okay? Yeah, thank you. Good. So carrying on, sorry. Yeah, our tutors are working in the industry now, which obviously gives you lots of knowledge, and it's really interesting to be surrounded by people that are industry professionals, but also it can get you opportunities for when you graduate as well. Our equipment is in line with the industry, what they're using currently. If you went to a university, for example, they may be using cameras that are dated, and there's really no point getting trained on cameras that they're not currently using. We aim for our students to spend 3 years with us, getting trained on the equipment, on the software, and being in that professional environment, so that when they graduate, they can walk straight onto a film set and know exactly what they're doing. They know how to use those cameras. They know what that lighting is. They know where everything goes. They know who's who, and they know how to hold themselves. And if you went to a university that just has a film department, for example, you wouldn't necessarily get that level of training. Same with our facilities. Like I said, every penny we earn pretty much goes straight back into our students. I've worked here for nearly 2 years, and since then we've opened 2 new buildings in Brighton. We've opened in 2 new cities. We've launched 2 new courses. We're constantly growing because we have the funds to do so, because we're constantly trying to make everything better for our students, essentially. So our facilities are top of the range, just as you would find in the real life industry. Also means our students get a lot of opportunity because we don't take on that many students. We have about 150 per year. It changes each year, but something like that. So our class sizes are really small. Some classes, there might be about 20 per class, but for the more practical ones, we tend to keep it at like 8 to 10 people per class. And that means your tutors will get to know you really well. They know what you enjoy and where you could take your career. There's another video here of our Brighton studios just for you to have a look. Put the sound on. Great. So I'm just going to touch briefly on industry engagement. This is Big Nasty. I don't know if any of you are aware of him, but he's one of our patrons. We have some really great people from the industry on board with us that we've got really good connections to. So we have a whole team in our office, and their whole job is to just make connections in the industry for our students. So we get lots of people in for masterclasses and Zoom workshops and online seminars and things all the time from the industry, which means you're gaining the knowledge and experience from them, which is amazing. And it also works with helping our students get jobs. So 86% of our students were hired in the film and TV industry within a year of graduating, which is really high. It kind of goes to show, how it works really. And that is including COVID stats as well. We have a 5-year alumni guarantee. And what that means is when you graduate, you stay on our books for 5 years after. And if any jobs come through our hands, which they do a lot, we can put you forward for them. It means a lot of our students have gone on to work in the specialism that they chose straight away. We've got one student who specialized in drone footage, so he'd use drones to capture footage, and he just won a People's Choice Award, which is a good thing in England. And he goes all around the world just collecting footage for various tourism boards and things, and now he's doing what he loves full time. We've got people working for Great British Bake Off, for ITV, Channel 5, Netflix, Disney, all sorts, and we're really proud of where our students have gone. So I'm going to touch on our 4 courses now. Like I said, we've got all 4 of these running in Brighton, and then just a filmmaking, film business in Birmingham and Manchester. But if you have any questions about that, you can just look on the website. So filmmaking is the course if you're interested in practical filmmaking. So that is cameras, lighting, sound, editing, anything that actually goes in the process of being on set and making a film. This would also include screenwriting and directing. So within this course, you cover everything in your first year. So you'll cover the whole process, and then you get to work out what elements of that you enjoy the most. So you might decide in your second year you want to do just editing and directing, then your third year you do just directing, and that is the thing that all your lessons are really focused on. You're getting so much experience, you're working with professional actors, really building up those skills. You work on about 2 or 3 films a year. Like I said, you get budget for those films, and you get marked on what role you are having in that film. So if you're the lighting director, you're getting marked on the lighting. Across all of our courses, they're very heavily practical. Hardly any written work is needed. No lectures, you're not going to be in a lecture hall for 3 hours and having to write a really long essay or have a sit down exam for 2 hours. It's all very practical. You're getting marked on how you behave in lesson, how you prepare, and then the final outcome. So you're actually getting marked on your skills as opposed to writing about something. So that suits a lot of people, that kind of way of examination. The next course is film business and production. This is for people that maybe are more business minded. They like to go into things like marketing, accounting, distribution, law, even. Film business is a very wide subject. And again, you kind of cover everything in your first year and work out where you want to sit. So this would include distributing film, how to make money from film, essentially. You'll be working closely with the filmmaking students who are producing a lot of film, but they don't know what to do with it. So you're going to be putting it forward for festivals, hopefully helping them make some money from it. A really good course if you are interested in the film industry, you're not quite sure if you're in that creative side of things, highly technical camera lighting and things, but you want to be in the film industry and you maybe have some pre-existing business skills that you want to put into a specific department. Hair and makeup for screen and film does what it says on the tin, really. If you have any hair and makeup skills already and you want to put it into a specific industry, very different to kind of fashion hair and makeup or even like bridal, things like that. It's very specific for film. Obviously, these massive cameras, they capture a lot of detail on the face, so it's a different skill set you need. This would cover special effects, prosthetics, wig making, barbering, all of that stuff. Working with the filmmaking students, again, you're in a film set every day, seeing how it all comes to life, as opposed to in a salon environment. So way more practical and actually implementing the skills in the industry that you want to work in. Production design is the art department roles I was talking about earlier. So this course covers set design, costumes, props, miniature making, model making, anything visual within the film industry that isn't done with a camera, if that makes sense. So if you want to go into the film industry, but you have more of a creative, artistic skill instead of like the technical, this might be a good course to look into for you. All of the courses work in a similar structure. So in the first year, you kind of get an overview of all the things involved, and then you get to choose what you specialize in. And it's all very collaborative. You're working with each other a lot, very hands-on. You know, you're in the film set every day in those studios I just showed you, every day actually seeing how it comes to life, so that when you graduate, you're really ready for the industry. I'm going to touch a little bit on these things as well. So accommodation across all of our campuses, we have lots of options for you. There are halls of residence you can live in, or you can go into private renting. When you apply, our admissions teams are really helpful at helping you with this, so we can find what's right for you. Our campuses are city campuses as opposed to big campuses with everything under one roof. So our buildings are right in the city centre. In Brighton, for example, we're right on the beach. It's a really great place to study, which means we don't have accommodation on site, but there's loads of options for you in the city. And Brighton, Manchester and Birmingham are all really student heavy towns, so there's lots of options. Student support, we have an amazing student support department in each of the colleges that can offer help with any learning difficulties. They can help you apply for disabled student allowance, any bursaries, things like that, if there's any issues going on at home, or if you just need a chat. It's an open door policy always. And because we're not a massive university with thousands of students to think about, they get to know you really well. So if there are any issues, you know that you've got someone to talk to. And student life, like I said earlier, in all three cities, they're really creative places. Birmingham is kind of upcoming, it's changing, it's becoming like a small London, it's quite industrial and urban, it's really great. Manchester, loads of film and TV is filmed in Manchester, especially in Salford, where our studios are near. There's so many things going on there. BBC shoot there all the time. Brighton, lots of things going on, lots of festivals, loads of celebrations all the time. Obviously, I'm biased. I live in Brighton. I love it. But it's a really liberal place to live and really creative. You're just surrounded by loads of people that are studying music and dance and film, and it's a really great place to live. When you apply, we will ask for a portfolio. So you'll be invited to either a Zoom or in person, obviously, if you can, interview where we ask you to show a portfolio. That can be anything from some drawings you've got, maybe you've written a bit of a script, a mood board. If you've got any film footage that you've edited, that is amazing. That's ideally what we'd like, a kind of show reel. But we understand not everyone can do that. So I always suggest, if you've got an idea for something that you would like to go out and film, if you could, say a music video, for example, make a mood board for it, you know, collect loads of images from Pinterest and put it all together so that we can kind of see your vision. Essentially, what we want to see is some potential. We want to see that you're creative, that you have an eye for something, and that you're willing to work hard. We don't expect you to come with a 15-minute show reel of these amazing things that you filmed. Even just some photography, some artwork, anything like that would be great. Again, if you have any questions about that, our admissions team are really helpful and they can help you with that. Does anyone have any questions we can put in the group chat? Whilst you're thinking of questions, if you scan this on your phone and fill in the form, you will be updated about any online open evenings that we've got. We often do Zoom open days where you can hear from the tutors and everything. I'll leave that up for a minute for you to scan that whilst we think of any questions, and then I can hand over to answer some questions. But that's everything from me. Thank you. What I'll do is I'll stop sharing and I'll put the link to this form in the chat so that people can fill it in their own time.
Thank you. I was just trying to scan the code, but I don't think it actually goes on to a website.
I put it in just the chat for you, so that might be a bit easier.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it doesn't go to the job form for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have a look at that. Thank you.
That's okay.
Hmm.
Okay, I'd just like to say a few words about how students could apply. I think, first of all, you need to contact SI UK Japan office. And they will show you how to apply. But literally, we accept applications both on the direct portal, the direct applications online on the website, or we accept applications through UCAS. So you can actually apply either one way, but don't apply for both. So you either choose UCAS or direct. But as I said, the first point of contact is really our agent, SI UK Japan office, and they will show you the way how to do it. I see some questions here, but it's in Japanese. So would you be able to translate?
It's just me asking.
Oh, just you, sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
That's okay, that's okay. Is there anything that you would like us to go over?
Give me a second.
I'm just going to type these universities screen and film website here for students. Should they want to look into more detail, they could do that. It's right there.
Okay, thank
I
you.
spelled it right. Yes, I did. Just in case.
Okay, so while we wait for questions from students, can I ask you some questions first? Oh, okay. There's one question from that says, is there any scholarship available for Japan?
For next year, yes, we are actually waiting for confirmations that there will be a £2,000 scholarship for international students. So we're just waiting to have the confirmations on that. Once we have it, will be posted on the website, and of course we will let you know the details as well.
Okay, great. Okay, I think there's one more question. Want to know how long does it take to receive an offer after made an
How long will it take?
application? Yeah.
Okay, we'll
it's
try
quite
to do it
difficult
as
to
soon as
answer.
possible. Yeah. Normally, yes, please do.
I can answer that one if you prefer. So it might be slightly different with international applications, but hopefully you'll get a receipt of your application pretty much instantly from the admissions team, and then maybe around a week maximum, depends what time of year really, but they are quite quick at reviewing the application, then offering you, and then you'll have the conditions on your offer of that you need to have your portfolio and achieve your qualifications. So it's quite a quick process really, and the admissions teams are really helpful. We've got a live chat on our website, so if you ever want to ask a question, you can go on the website and use the live chat and talk to them about the process of your application.
Yeah, just one more thing I want to add on to that is the English language requirement for international students. So roughly for undergraduate, we need an equivalent of IELTS 6.0 plus a 6, I think, in writing for IELTS for film studies, for film courses and the film business courses. So slightly higher than the other courses that we offer at BIMM. The others are just literally overall 6 with 5.5 in all components. But as I said, the writing component for film will be slightly higher at 6.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, there's one more about graduate career prospects. So if
so like I said earlier, 86% of our students do go into film and TV within a year, which is really high, and that can be anything from one of our students is an editor at a marketing company. So she's specialized in editing with her 3 years with us. And before she even graduated, she was offered a job as a full-time editor. So she makes like advertisements for TV and things like that. Some people go on to be production assistants on TV shows. Someone is a professional hair and makeup artist for Doctor Who, the TV show, which is really cool. People traveling all around the world. It really depends. We obviously try and help our students get jobs as much as we can. Like I said, we get a lot of jobs through our hands a lot, so we can put you forward for them because we know what you want to do. But you'll be building so many connections up throughout the 3 years. We host a lot of networking events where you can meet people from the industry and build on your skills. So the chances of you getting a job in the field that you actually want to go into are really high, I would say.
Yeah, and plus the fact that now UK has a graduate visa where students could stay on for another 2 years to work or to study, whatever, you know. So that's very attractive for students from overseas coming to the UK to study, to have that 2 years extra just to try it out, really, in the UK.
We also have a master's program if anyone would be interested in that after the degree as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions?
Okay, there's one question. Do you know how many Japanese students are studying?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Do you know how many Japanese students are studying?
I don't know if I had for Screen and Film School specifically.
Yeah, I don't have that data right now, but I know there are definitely Japanese students from across all campuses.
Yeah.
We have students coming onto the London campus for sure, I know, but I don't have the exact figures. But I wouldn't say it's a large, you know, because as Georgia already said, our students tend to be in smaller group, so we have a few from each country, really. So you won't actually see a huge group of Japanese students. Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it, really, because you get to know other students.
Yeah.
But still, you'll be comfortable with a small number of Japanese students. They may not be on the same campus, but you know, there will be Japanese students.
And in the towns that the colleges are in, they're all quite diverse towns as well. So lots of different cultures.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. I think this one.
The masters, how would it compare to other universities? Again, similar to the degree, it's in such a specialized place. So if you want to study film and go into film, the best place to do it is at a film school. Our masters is actually fairly new. A lot of our students stayed on from the degree to the masters because they obviously wanted to stick around, which is a good sign. I wouldn't necessarily know how it compares to others. It just depends if you like the environment or not, but you've got a while to think about that.
I have a questions because I haven't actually been doing my homework on the postgraduate, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Do they need to have a film study in the undergraduate study?
No, not necessarily. So no, we actually recruited someone from IC Theatre, our theatre school as well, who just really was interested in going into directing. They hadn't had much experience, but because they had that passion and potential, then we accepted them. So not necessarily. We take a lot of mature students as well who have been out of education for like 20 years.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good to know. Yeah. So it's actually, we take students onto the master program from a very wide range of background. So not necessarily someone who've done film in the undergraduate.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
I think one thing to stress is we are not a mainstream university and we don't try to pretend to be one, okay? As mentioned before, we are a big production house. So we're very different from other traditional mainstream university. I think that what stands out as well, make us stand out from the industries, from the education sector.
Okay. Could you talk more about the entry requirements for the undergraduate study? I think you've mentioned about the student who is progressing from the international school in Japan. But
yeah, normally we use the UCAS tariff. So for film and anything with film study, film productions and business, it will be UCAS 64. So how would that, the equivalence to the local Japanese exams, I would say is the upper secondary school leaving certificate. That will be, I think, the overall score on an upper secondary is out of 5. So for film and business, it will be 4 out of 5. I hope that makes sense. Yep. Did you get that?
Yeah, thank you. I think I was kind of off for like 2 minutes, so
okay.
I didn't really get what you said.
It's the upper secondary leaving certificate. I know the maximum mark is like out of 5. So for film, it will be 4 out of 5 that we take as an equivalence to the UCAS 64, UCAS tariff 64. Yeah, okay, 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Plus the English and a successful portfolio review.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Some students may want to know what is the deadline to apply. There's really no deadline for international students, but we do recommend them to apply early because we still have to look at the portfolio, and it does sometimes require some time for us to do and for you to prepare for it anyway. But I think we have kind of like a guide posted up on the internet for students.
It's end of January. We suggest by end of January, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Gives you time to maybe do an open day and like look at our online masterclasses and things and get more of a feel. And just because you apply for somewhere doesn't necessarily mean you have to go there. You get like 5 choices, don't you? So you can apply for multiple places and then make a decision in the summer.
Yep.
Okay. So I think any other questions?
Any more questions? I think we actually 1 hour exactly, I think, the session. So
Yeah.
good timing. Yeah. Good timing. So I would say thank you to all the students who came by. And if you have any more questions, just give SI UK Japan office a call, and they will actually get in touch with us. But should you want to contact us direct, that's quite all right. You've got the website, and I think there is an email which you can actually send it to directly to us. It's international@bimm.ac.uk. Should you, but of course, I should think SI UK Japan will be your first point of contact. And thank you for the speaker, our main speaker today. Thank you so much for helping out.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh,
bye everyone.
Oh no, it's from me. Sorry.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right then. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.